Hey everyone, welcome back to SOVL. I'm DisturbingPuppet. So this is a free, basically kind of Warhammer Fantasy board game adaptation into a digital space. So it is not exactly the same. It doesn't have the same rules, but it is fairly similar. Everything's based on a D6. Has a lot of the same stats and stuff, but it's a little bit different. The game is free. You can basically get it and play humans. You can play orcs. You can play dwarves. You can play elves. You can play the undead. And then there are some DLC units. So the Goatman Raiders, sort of Beastmen, Abyssal Legion, basically Chaos, Deepwood Guardians, Wood Elves, Ratkin, Skaven, Reptilians, Lizardmen. So it does have a lot of close similarities to Warhammer Fantasy, which I think is kind of cool. I wish they would always have done something themselves, but take somebody else to do that. I've played with a bunch of the different factions, all the free ones except for humans, because I didn't think they were that interesting. Played Goatman Raiders, kind of interesting. I did pick up the DLC units because I thought the game itself was free. The DLC pack was only $20 to get all the different DLC units, so I thought I'd do that and have a decent time with it. So we're gonna try out the Abyssal Legion, which is basically like Chaos. So they have heavily armored knights, demons, that kind of stuff. Don't have all the units unlocked. That's kind of a feature of sort of playing through the campaign. You unlock some different units the more you play through it. So we're going to give this a shot. We could go with the Abyssal Champion or the Abyssal Sorcerer. I am, of course, going to go for the Champion, so that's sort of where we're going to start from. So let's go ahead and jump on in. There's always a choice when you get in here of different units we can pick. I'm hoping we can get some nice, like really heavy knights. Not seeing that. Unfortunately, this is one of the things I'd really like to see here is to get the like stats to be able to come up as a tooltip, which still doesn't happen. The game is not at 1.0 yet. It's at like 0.75, something like that. So there will be some changes, I'm sure. And like picking your starting character, you also don't get to see the stats until we jump in and actually start the campaign. Let's grab some Northman Horse. And then, nice. Okay, we got some Abyssal Knights. We'll take the Abyssal Knights. Don't know how great they are. We'll find out once we jump in here. I feel like the music is off for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, I guess we don't have a choice. Yeah, it's weird. Music seems to not be working. Let's take a look at our units. So we have Cocklore Soul Harvester as our champion. So it starts with a hand weapon and shield. So that's a little bit of basic defense, a little bit of charge bonus. The Abyssal Armor makes us slower, but additional +1 to damage saves. And then Demonic Possession. Activate once per battle, +3 attacks, -3 skill. Okay, so we might want to stack a bunch of skill. So you're thrown into a squad of Northmen Axemen, who are pretty generic. So essentially what we have here, the stats, 3 is pretty standard. If I have a 3, my opponent has a 3, we've got an equal amount, so I'll hit 50% of the time. Same vice versa. If I'm better, then I'll have a +1, my opponent will have a -1, but only swings a couple either way is the maximum. In Warhammer Fantasy, it can swing to the point where you can't actually successfully hurt people. In this game, there's always a chance. I think 6s will always successfully hit, pretty much no matter what. And same for wounding people and stuff. The 4 defense, same kind of thing. Power versus defense, your chance of hurting somebody. So that affects your armor saves. So that's a little bit different. And discipline's not great for these guys, but they're okay. All right, we've got the Northman Horse. So they've got 2 wounds and 2 attacks each, which is very nice. Skill and power, not that great. They do get that charge bonus, of course. Defense is mediocre. And then we have the Abyssal Knights. So these guys have pretty similar stuff. No lances or anything. They've got the Abyssal Armor, though. So they're a little slower, but have really good defense. So I think the way this would work is, so this is +1 to damage saves, not +1 to defense. So they'll have the defense roll. These guys might actually, there might be situations where we are guaranteed to succeed, but I think 1s always count as fails. So if we make armor saves and roll a 1, I think it's always going to be a fail no matter what. All right, anyway, let's jump on back in. So we have a little map here we can take a look at and see. Yes, I still can't, yeah, we can't look at my settings. I feel like the music is not working. So what we want to do is end up at one of these. So this is a campsite. We'll get some recovery right before the final boss fight. There's 2 stages. This is the first one. First one's usually not too bad. There's another recovery site here. This is where we buy stuff. Events give us some cool stuff. Let's just start up here. These early fights are usually pretty easy. Let's see if the music will turn on when we get in a battle. All right, so we're going to be playing against some random undead. Not a big deal. Hey, we have music. Okay, so we can set up our guys however we want. So something we can take a look at once we're in the fight is we can kind of look and see what our charge ranges are. And we can kind of see the outline of any terrain that's giving us some problems. A nice big open area here, so we should be fine. This is basically unit is to deliver my champion upon the enemy and then smite them. That's kind of his goal. These guys can kind of charge right in the front, should be fine. These guys are more flankers. Let's put you then a little wide out. This isn't actually anything I need to worry about. We'll split up a little bit. There's probably only, just a couple of units here, not a big deal. Alright, so, on the move, we alternate movement back and forth. The enemy has some skeleton warriors. We can take a look at their stats there. Nothing too great. So zombies and skeleton warriors, not great at fighting. You can kind of see the 2 skills. So we should have no real problem here kicking these guys' butts. Alright, so if we want to look and see charge ranges. If I hit X, I can see what my charge ranges are for my units. Let's see, you can see where the enemy charge ranges are. What you want to do, especially with cavalry, is charge from the point where you can charge into them, they can't countercharge you. So you may not want to move that close. You can also kind of see the angles and stuff once we move. You attack in a 90-degree. So if you can get out to the flank, hit them at the flank, that's probably your best bet. Let's go ahead and just move these guys over. So it does cost us to pivot. These guys are relatively slow, but we'll move on up. So the skeleton warriors are heading out to intercept them. None of your units get, if they get wiped out, they're not gone from your army. They'll just kind of come back at really low levels. So you'll be able to you'll have to kind of build them back up again afterwards. How far can we get? Not super far, but we could get out to potentially charge in a flank. Potentially with them. Out here, my movement here is pretty good. If I could try to get over, maybe I could hit them at the flank too. Okay, that's not enough. We can always just right-click to go back a step. Let's just pivot over. That's probably not quite enough. Let's go something like that. Okay, so even though this is fairly simple, it's very similar to the way Warhammer Fantasy worked with attacks and units and all that kind of stuff. So for charges, we can charge. So if I look at a unit, I can see where I can charge. Unfortunately, I'll charge here into the front. I'm not far enough to the flank. Here, we've got a nice flank, though. So we're definitely going to charge that. I could go ahead and charge in. You're too far away. We could double hit the zombies. I don't think the skeletons are going to be that much trouble. The undead work differently than a lot of the other factions, so once we get into a fight, we're kind of stuck. They don't run away or break, but they will sort of disintegrate if they're losing a fight, which is kind of similar to the way that the undead work in Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, let's go ahead and charge on in. So if they don't get to countercharge, they're not getting any bonuses. I'm getting bonuses. I've got a free unit here, so I can move on up if I want to. I'm just going to move into a position where I can join this fight on the next turn. For right now, we'll start over here. So combat is simultaneous. Even if I kill people, they do get a chance to respond. So we've got 15 attacks. So comparing skill versus skill, we hit on a 3 or better, which I would have thought it'd be better, actually, because we have 4 skill versus 2. So shouldn't I be at +2? Yeah, I'm not sure why. I think it should be like a 2 or better, honestly, not a 3 or better. 4 + 1, yeah, whatever. All right. Only 9 hits, not so great. Decent number of armor saves there. He needed 5s to armor save and got 3, so pretty lucky. Counterattack, because we're hitting on the flank, only the guys on the edge get a chance to hit us back. Only 1 hit. We've got a really good 2+ save here. No problem. We win by 7, so normally this would mean a leadership roll, but in the case of undead, they just lose some additional units. So I think that's like a D3 they lose. All right, over here, let's see what we can do. 3 or better also, we get quite a few hits there. Not that many successes. 5 counterattacks is a bit rougher. 3 or better save, so we do lose a horse. They're almost wiped out. Just a couple of those skeletons left. So we're still stuck in combat. So one of the things that is a little frustrating sometimes is you can charge into flanks and rear, but you can only have 1 in the front, 1 in each flank, 1 in the rear. So even if a unit was really big, you could still only have 1 in the flank. Even if your unit was very small, like even just 1 or 2 guys, they would be taking up that spot. The other thing is, if a unit is engaged in combat, you cannot shoot into it with anybody. There's not even like a chance of hitting your own guys or anything, you just can't do it. If you are charged, you can flee instead, but your unit is broken, so that's kind of a negative thing. There's no sort of stand and shoot with ranged units, which I would like to see. I'd also like to see for ranged units different stats, kind of like Warhammer Fantasy has for ranged ability, so range skill and close combat skill. I'd like to see that as a change, but I don't know if we'll ever see it. So we're going to charge on in. So we're just going to chew these zombies to pieces. We can't activate a unit because this has a special ability. Demonic Possession, -3 skill. Yeah, why not? +3 attacks is pretty huge. And their skill's not great anyway, so it should be fine. So my leader alone is going to get to roll 6 dice. Only 3 hits. They need a 5 or better to save. They did get 1. Cavalry. Tearing them apart this time, although a lot of saves, honestly. A couple hits back. We save them both, no damage, very nice. And then my regular Northman Axeman. Add, even though it doesn't matter, it's still going to calculate for how much you win a fight by. Over here, we should wipe these guys out. Yeah. 1 counterattack hits us, we save it. Alright, good to go. If a unit has multiple wounds, it does track that for the results in between fights. So if you have like a giant, undead giant dragon, that kind of stuff, it will track that stuff. Cavalry as well. So at the end, we can recover some losses or get some cash. We probably want to get some cash if we want to add additional units. We can also upgrade units as we go. There's also XP. As we level up, we get more stuff and skills and that kind of stuff. All right, Axeman, let's just grab some cash. You guys are down 1 guy, grab some cash. Let's just go cash everywhere. Give me the cash. We've got an event next. Sometimes these will give you abilities, special things. Your soldiers have found an ancient artifact. Make use of its power or sell to the nearest settlement. All enemy units reroll successful discipline tests this turn. Use once per battle. Yeah, we could use that. When I'm fighting against the AI, if the AI unit breaks, they never try to rally. You can try to rally your own guys, but if they're fast, that's the problem. Fast units, especially things like chariots, they're so quick. If they break, they usually are just going to run off the board immediately. So they often don't get a chance to recover infantry. You usually can try, but you end up facing the wrong direction, that kind of stuff. All right, we got some Orc Scouts to fight this time. A lot more terrain, which makes this a bit more of a mess. We could keep you back, sort of protected if we wanted to. There's probably only a couple units to fight. Let's cover this. I'll have you kind of back. We could decide what to do with you later. Let's do something like that. Okay, they're far out left. They've got boar riders who are fairly tough. And then just orc warriors. So I'm really not in position here. These guys can move pretty far, pretty fast. But if they're super aggressive, maybe we can do something. See, I have the option now to use this, so I have to verify that I'm done with my turn. Infantry is going to move ahead. I'm already in charge range if I wanted to. I think we could tear these guys apart. They just have basic weapons. Let me move up just a tiny bit to make sure that I'm in charge range. These guys are probably in charge range of me. Yeah, so we're in charge range of each other. We could charge each other just fine. I was kind of hoping we could have these guys come out. We could meet them head on and then have the Abyssal Knights flank them. It sort of depends on what happens here. I can't really get far enough away to keep these guys out of danger. So moving up, if I want to move into his face to kind of restrict his movement, would be okay, but I think I want to try to lure him down, so I'm actually just going to stay there. Because potentially we could still try to flank with the knights. Not that I really need it. Okay, so he's going to charge. So I will countercharge, which means we'll kind of meet somewhere in the middle. Do I want to send in the knights, or do I want to save them to destroy the boar riders? probably going to push ahead here. Yeah, let's go ahead and just charge them. I think we can just break them. Too far away with you. So there, they didn't get a chance to countercharge because we're coming from so far away. Start creeping up to help out if we need it. And if we break them, yeah, let's see if we can make sure. So even if they succeed with a discipline roll, there's a chance on the reroll that they'll fail. So here we're charging each other, so they're going to get a decent amount of hits off. That's 5. I need 5s to save. They needed 4s to hit me. Oh, that was terrible. Okay, let's hit them back. That was pretty crummy. Only 4 hits. And they saved a bunch. We lost that fight. Because we lost by a bunch, our discipline goes down for the roll. We absolutely fail that, and we're probably off the board already. So here we just need 3s. We should absolutely wreck these guys. So for infantry, the first 2 ranks will fight unless you're charging guys with spears. Then they can fight the first 3 ranks. 2 hits come back at us. We save them both, no problem. Yeah, we hurt him so bad that there was no way that they could actually succeed. For the different factions I've played, I think the orcs were the hardest to play because their discipline is just terrible. So I could charge them down if I wanted to, but once these guys are broken, they're never going to come back. So I'm just going to ignore the charge because we're going to want to worry about these guys. So I think my Abyssal Knights are way better. Yeah, you can see my other guys ran off the board. Let's move a little further down. I'm just going to go right at them because our charge ranges are basically the same. I will bring you up to support. Let's go a little bit over, following the road. Charges sometimes work weird where you can sometimes intercept. If you're far enough to a flank and someone charges one of your units, you can kind of charge them instead and stop them. But we'll be fine here. Go. We got the counter charge off. Nothing else I can do. We should absolutely wreck these guys. If I want to engage, I need to get onto a flank here. I don't think the fight's going to go that long, but we can start heading that direction a little bit. Although we're fairly slow. Relying on my Abyssal Knights to win the day here. So they needed 4s to hit me. Against these guys, we needed 3 to save. We do actually lose one of our guys. 11 hits, very nice. He needs 4s. We drop a bunch of them. They break. That's it. Very nice. Okay, we have taken some losses. We've got some guys to level up. So the fun part of this is leveling up, picking the skills, and then also when we get to vendors, being able to pick up additional stuff for our guys is very cool. So the axe guys didn't fight at all. Let's go ahead. We'll level these guys up and see what we get. So we have extra gold when looting. So if we don't recover losses, we can get gold. That's kind of what that's referring to. 50% base unit replenishment. So that's not the free units we get back at the end of a fight. That's the ones when I select either gold or units back. I think we take a random stat, see what we get. Okay, defense. So we got demonic defense, so their defense is now much stronger. Makes them a bit tougher to deal with. Let's go ahead and recover our losses. And the Abyssal Knights. Yeah, again, the same thing. We'll take something random. Extra wounds. Nice. So that makes these guys... They were already really tough because of the Abyssal armor. Now with the demonic resilience. Excellent. Let's get our losses recovered, I think. Next up, we do have a place we can buy some stuff. All right. So if it says mount, this is something for your characters. Your characters can jump in. The problem with the chariots is, like I said, if they fight and they break, their generally going to just run right off the board immediately. So it's a problem with cavalry. If you have really heavy cavalry that aren't going to break, like maybe my Abyssal Knights, that would be maybe a good accompaniment. But a chariot, not so much. I really wish I had just 10 more gold. If I hadn't replaced that one Abyssal Knight, I could have gotten an additional unit of Abyssal Knights. So that kind of sucks. The Northman horse are pretty mediocre. What are other options here? So we could give short bows to them. That's not great. We've got a great weapon for my leader, or 2 hand weapons, increasing attacks. Halberd means that we're much better at damaging stuff. So even if something's really, really tough, the best save it's ever going to have is 50%. So this is quite good. We have extra armor for the Northmen. Reroll failed discipline tests. Same here. We've got some extra movement. Abyssal Knights having great weapons. I don't know about that. We'd lose some defense. Extra movement might be good. I might take the Northman horse just because. I'm going to give my leader a halberd. The 2 hand weapons is very tempting, but we already have a way to do a bunch of attacks. And then let's make my Abyssal Knights faster. I was hoping we could pick up another good unit there, but oh well. Alright, we have an event. Forgotten Tomb. Armies found a forgotten tomb in the wilderness. Does it contain ancient treasure or slumbering evil? Form a search party to investigate or leave it be. So there's a chance guys here will die, but we can just send a whole bunch of these guys in. It should be fine. We'll get some kind of a benefit. I think it's just for my leader, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, that should be fine. So we find a bunch of cash. We lose 2 guys. We get unyielding. So reroll failed damage saves. Okay. Was that for the unit or my leader? Looks like just my leader. Yep. So my leader is now much tougher. We can also change formations here if we want to. We can make guys wider if we want to fight wider, if we've got more guys, because we can add units as well when we upgrade. Sometimes there's chances to improve the maximum number of guys in a unit. Let's go back. We can get some free recovery here. We can pick up some more guys eventually. Let's try to prioritize getting cash here in the near future. Replenish, retrain. We get free replenishment. Everybody's at max, so we'll just get XP, which will give us some level ups. So my leader will level up. So we could take the skill or +1 to something random. Let's go skill, just to guarantee that. The 6, that's pretty fantastic. But we do have that ability that reduces his skill, so it's something we want to look at. Northman. You guys. Skill or random. Like, wounds would be really good, attacks would be really good, but you don't really know what's going to happen with the demonic gifts. Skill we can guarantee. I think that's what we want. So they just have the veteran skill. They're just much better fighters. The horsemen, Abyssal Knights, and the other Northmen, not Norsemen. We'll get that. All right, another event. Holy Gift. This is a holy place. Your soldiers can ask for a blessing, but make your choice carefully. So we get to pick what unit gets some kind of a benefit. I think the Abyssal Knights. So we can reroll failed damage saves, which is very good considering they're very tough. Or get them back to full strength. We're already at full strength. This is forever. This is a one-time thing. Always take the protection. So they have divine protection. In this case, I'm assuming it's not really like nice forest spirit gods are giving us this divine protection. It's like we find this place and we defile it, and then our own gods give us the divine protection. That's how I'm going to interpret that. All right, a little fight. We're going to be fighting a goblin war party. Looks like it's got some trolls. Trolls are relatively nasty. Got a lot of cavalry here. This is taking up a lot of space. Let's put the infantry out here. Have my Abyssal Knights far. So the guys that have the extra defense will cover this gap between the woods, and the other unit will kind of have back. We can sort of deploy where we want. Okay, they're pretty far over on this side. So they have some Goblin Wolf Riders. Very fast, but we can tear them apart pretty easy. Trolls are a bit more of a problem. They've got 3 wounds, 3 attacks. Regeneration. Recover all missing wounds at the end of the turn, so we want to kill them outright if we can. Some short bows, but this will cover their shots. Your own units also block your shots. You can't shoot over your own guys. That's something else I'd kind of like to see, either a height implemented where you could have sort of a unit out front and then your archers on a height behind, like a hill, shooting over them. Or certain weapons could shoot directly over your units, so like bows and stuff can shoot over a unit would be nice, whereas crossbows are blocked by your own guys, something like that. Alright. Let's just move in and see what the enemy wants to do. Use an activation here. Okay. Shoot me up a bit. They actually got a lot of hits, so they needed 5s, but they got 50% of their hits landed. 3 or better to save. Okay, we'll take a little bit of damage from them. That's with my increased defenses. Let's move on over. I want to be in a position where I can charge them without too much trouble. So from there, I can charge them. The goblins might try to block me, though. We'll see what happens. So I might be forced to charge them. Well, we might be able to get through there. I'm not sure. Goblins could be a problem. I'd kind of like these guys to fight the Wolf Riders and have the Abyssal Knights go after the Trolls. So that's what I'm going to kind of aim for. Try to come up like right in their flank. So I can sort of stop them from being an issue. And I think from here we can already charge the Trolls. So yeah, let's go ahead and call that. Okay, so we're close enough that he can charge me. I'm not going to get a great counter off there, although it's showing me in the flank, which is kind of weird. Here we're going to charge the archers. We're going to charge the trolls. You can't charge anything. Yeah, so they did actually turn to meet me there, even though it was kind of showing me in the flank. But we can kind of deal with that. I think we'll be all right. We're already in range. Yeah, so I don't really need to do anything. I will go ahead and blow the horn, though, because maybe we can break all these other guys. All we have to do is win the fights, and hopefully they'll fail their rolls. I'm just going to turn, creep in on them a little bit. You can kind of block where guys can move by sort of putting yourself right in their face, because you can't move through units. Not even your own units. Alright, so here we've got mutual charges. They needed 4s to hit. They land 4 hits on me. 4s to save. We lose one of our guys. Counterattack was pretty pathetic. So it's a draw. That's unfortunate. Over here we should do a lot better, even though we are fighting these trolls. So even with their decent strength and stuff, they only got 4 hits on me. We save on a 3 or better, and we reroll fails automatically. No problem. Let's do some damage. They take down one of them, but they do fail, and they break. Alright. Trolls are done. Over here, we should be able to tear these guys apart. Although, actually, their skill's not bad. Only 4 hits. That was pathetic, guys. 4 hits back on us. 3 or better to save. Alright. We won that one just barely. And even with the reroll, he's fine. Was able to stay in the fight. Okay, am I close enough? Yeah, we can go ahead and charge there. We'll countercharge here. Just a bunch of goblins with hand weapons. They don't even have spears. They can't really fight super well. And do I want to use my ability? I mean, I might as well. The skill goes down, but we'll be fine. Alright, over here, they keep fighting whoever's in the front. Well, we'll get a free shot in the back, but it is going to tally combined together for the fights. their crappy attack roll. Take down one of them. Now my Abyssal Knights should tear them apart. Look at that. They needed 5, so they're all wiped out, so it doesn't really matter. Over here, let's see if we can get a better roll this time. 3 hits! That's pretty pathetic, guys. And with a 5 or better save, he still saves one. 5 results. These guys are doing way better than you'd expect. Although historically, charging infantry with your cavalry straight on is not a great idea. So over here, my leader alone, 6 dice, 4 better to hit. We get 2 hits, that is pathetic. His attack on me, needing 4s, gets a few off. We only save 1. These guys are basic infantry, so they're just going to die in droves really quickly. Okay, we do win that one. And they break. Goblins don't have great discipline. 1 unit left. I can charge them in the back here if I want to, as a way to just kind of move forward. I guess I will. I can't charge anything else. We're hitting them in the back, so it's fairly safe. They won't even be able to counterattack or anything. Although if they had a leader, I think they do get a chance. I don't remember if a leader can actually fight if you charge in the rear. So here we just want to kind of move around, potentially hit this guy if the fight was going to continue. I don't think it will. It's kind of weird about moving here. Sometimes you can just push through. Other times it'll actually kind of lock your guys in place. And you can move through difficult terrain. It just reduces your movement really drastically. But we're already in it. We can pretty freely charge in next turn without a problem. We don't take any damage or anything. Alright, see if we can actually do better on our rolls here. There we go. 5 hits. Save 3, though. 4 counterattacks. Saved most of them. And they're still going to hold on. So now, just my regular 3 attacks. Literally killed 1 goblin. Good job. There we go. So they should just break again, hopefully. Yeah. Fight's not over, huh? Okay. Well, Abyssal Knights. Let's hit them. I mean, I guess I'll keep charging into him. There's no real reason for me not to. I don't think you get additional experience by killing guys. It does keep track of how many kills your units have. But I don't think, like, really makes a difference XP-wise. I think it just being in the fight gives you the XP. So we're kind of moving in here. So you're being flanked by the Abyssal Knights, fighting them up front, and we've got the other cavalry creeping up behind you. As much as cavalry can creep. Shouldn't really matter. That was really sad. 1 hit. We save it. Good. Alright, Abyssal Knights. Nice. They are destroyed. 3 hits from our leader. No saves. Just let the guys get involved. Very nice. This game, I think, really does successfully capture that feeling of when you just roll tons and tons of dice in a lot of war games. Like Warhammer Fantasy, 40k, that kind of stuff. It really captures that quite well. Okay. We could take cash here, so I will. I think, I can't look at the map right now. I think we're headed towards somewhere where I want to buy stuff. So let's just take cash on everything. Level you guys up. Max unit size would be nice, but we don't get replenishment right away. We will eventually. Yeah, let's go for a bigger unit. And let's take cash. Alright, so we've got 330 to spend. We'll get some reinforcements here. So what can we do? We can pick up a sorceress who has a little complement of Northman warriors to escort her. That's not bad. It's probably my best option. It'll give me a lot more magic options and stuff as we fight. Do have some cool stuff on my leader, though. Opponent reroll successful damage save. So if you successfully save against him, you have to reroll it. That's pretty evil. +2 skill, very, very nice. +1 defense, +1 wound, also very, very nice. I can't afford a unit. Well, I mean, I could afford more crappy Northman horse. I really like some of these. Cruelty is really good, and Vitality is really good. The skill's really good. It's all fantastic. The only thing that'd be better would be attacks. So, I mean, this is potentially good. I don't know how powerful the sorceresses are. The magic in this is, I've seen a lot of similar magic spells from different factions. So there's some stuff that's really powerful, like weakening your opponent's defenses in half, freezing a unit so it can't move, fireballs that just do straight up damage, but you need line of sight for that, so it's a little limited. I feel like we're really focusing on the cavalry here. You know what? I'm just going to make my leader super evil. So let's go +1 defense, +1 wound. You have to reroll successes. Gonna go skill. Then we could go extra armor on the Northman. Charge bonus is okay. This gives us some protection against ranged attacks on the Northman, but I'm not too worried about that. It's the Abyssal Knights that I might want that on. This would be good too, because I really don't want these guys to break. So let's give them some protection from ranged attacks and rerolling discipline. These guys are now a bigger unit. Anything else I really want? Maybe the heavy armor. Yeah, I'll take the heavy armor. And then I might as well take Banners of Mist on everybody if I've got the money for it. Let's do that. All right, so now if we take a look at this. That's evil. 8 skill, although it's only going to swing 2 either way. So even if I'm fighting someone with like a 1 skill, it means he can still hit me on a 6 kind of thing. Because it'll only swing starting at 4, -2, because it'll only swing it by 2, despite how much the skill difference is. He's still going to hit me on a 6. But, you know, we're making it a lot harder for them. We've got the 3 attacks, the 4 wounds. This also makes my ability a lot better, because even with the demonic possession, with the -3, still be 5. So that's quite good. We are a little beat up. We'll get some reinforcements here coming. Very, very nice. Very nice. But we made our leader much, much stronger, which I like to see. Got the Banner of Mist there. Got the extra defense. The squad could use some upgrades. These are the guys we want to focus on primarily, though. Making this unit bigger would be nice. All right, let's replenish. Does that get me to full strength? Almost. All right, let's get some XP for my leader. We'll get XP for the Northman. XP for you guys because you're maxed out. It gives us a level. So what do we want? I don't get any additional units here, so let's just take the skill. Abyssal Knights. Let's see what we can do with a level up here. I think we want the max unit size, even though I can't get more guys now, we can get some later. That is pretty fantastic, and let's just go to full strength. And before we get into the final fight then, what I might want to do... Okay, it already set us up into a 4. The front 2 ranks, even in cavalry, will fight, so that's fine. I think that's good. We don't necessarily want to be super wide. It makes it hard to move through stuff, and also we can get shot at a little bit easier. So the bigger squad has just the Banner of Mist to protect them from ranged attacks. We're going to have these guys at 8 soon, which will be really fantastic. This other unit we might want to add up some additional units to if we can, because they're going to get a lot stronger. All right, we're going to fight our first sort of boss fight, which is usually Drazgog. It might only be Drazgog, or is it usually Drazgog? I'm not sure. It's a decent orc army. Okay, I'm going to put the Abyssal Knights to cover the flank. Put you guys quite defensive. You're pretty generic, although you have the numbers. Let's put the defensive unit there. We'll have the numbers here. My army's pretty small. You can kind of see compared to the enemy army. We don't have a lot of units. Our guys are kind of expensive, seems to be the thing. All right, you've got goblins. Not worried about that. Boar riders, potentially problem. War chief with some orc warriors. Some more orc warriors. Not too bad. The brutes here are potentially dangerous. They've got great weapons, so they do a lot of damage. And then, of course, the boar chariot. Really is tough on a charge, but not too much otherwise. So I want to be in a position where I can charge him. We're probably going to end up countercharging each other. There's not much we can do about that. The boar riders are a problem. We do have decent units over here. Like, we could probably fight them okay. I'm just going to advance forward. So we're coming from the woods, so we're slowed. Just to see what he does. Gonna end up having to charge directly into orc warriors here, which I'm not a fan of. I'd rather have my infantry do it and leave the cavalry free. But that might just mean the cavalry ends up fighting the great weapons, which would not be great. Uh-huh. He's got more units, so he can kind of wait me out and see where I'm gonna move to. I'm gonna sort of go ahead and block the boar riders here. So yeah, I'm already in range, I can charge them. Even if he moves these guys up, we could just run by and go hit them. They'll counterattack, we'll fight that out. The leader here, it's a bit tough. I don't have a way to pin down a lot of units, unfortunately. Don't really like fighting these great weapons. We can do a lot of damage on the first charge, but if we get bad dice rolls, we're kind of screwed. I'm just going to set up in a position where I can charge him, but he can't countercharge me. Yep, good there. Okay, I don't have to move you guys at all. Yeah, I'm just going to pass, see what happens. Yeah, just inch them forward, fine, whatever. Yep, not doing anything else. So I'm really relying on my charges being massively damaging. So let's go ahead and charge the boar riders. So they're going to countercharge, not a surprise. We're going to countercharge with the Abyssal Knights. So they're going to hit each other. I should come out better on that front, although chariots do get a big charge bonus. So the crushing charge. +2 power, +2 attacks, so it's a little dangerous, but these guys are really tough, so I'm hoping we can survive it. I could go ahead and charge in here and hope that I can break the brutes. There's only 10 of them. We're going to roll 16 dice. Skill's the same, so theoretically I kill about half of them. Yeah, let's try that and see if we can just send them off, especially with our horn that we've got. So all I have to do is win the fight, and they'll have a good chance of breaking. You can kind of see we're sort of blocking the way here with the terrain and stuff. Let's move up. Don't want his leader in my flank, so I'm going to move over so we'll have like leader versus leader. Be the plan. And we're going to blow the horn. Yeah, he's sort of stuck. He's trying to do something, like maybe try to move to my flank there. Alright. He only needed 4s to hit me. Got 3. We save on a 4 because of the huge improvement to his power on the attacks. But we reroll fails, so come on. Okay, we save everything. Nice. We just need 3s. We get 8 hits. Alright, he's instantly dead. So much for your chariot. Chariots look really good, but I found that they kind of their best thing is just sort of a shock. You're going to hit once, do some damage, then they're going to die. That's pretty much all that's going to happen. Or they're going to break and just run away. So over here, we need you guys to actually do some good damage. 3 or better to hit. 6 hits is okay. They saved all but 1. That's really bad. Only 2 counterattacks. See if we can save. We get 1. That's a draw. That's too bad. Even if we won by like 1 point, there's a chance they would have just broken there. So here I really need to break these guys and send them running. Good result. 9 hits. They save a lot, though. 7 counterattacks. We need 5s. That's not good. We actually lost that fight just because they did pretty good rolls. Yeah, it's unfortunate. They needed 3 or better on the defense. That's too bad. All right, and my guys break and run away. So we get a chance to kind of see how that looks. So we're stuck in combat there. We're in combat there. I'm going to go ahead and charge here. Have to do my charges first. Can't do anything else. Not quite in range to get these guys in the flank. So I have leader versus leader fight there. Let's try to rally my guys. We do, but they're facing the wrong way. Goblins are moving around the flank. Not a big fan of that. I'm going to bring my knights up. These are my real hammer here. Let's try to go a little further over. Let's go like way to the flank. Okay. I don't know how you maneuvered through that. Like when I try to move through stuff like that, it usually doesn't even let me. Let's go ahead and use my ability. Demonic Possession. Okay, they're going to face off there. He triggered Warcry, so I think that gives his guys increased power. Alright, let's see if we can do some damage here. 7 hits is not bad. Took out a couple. 4 hits back. Okay, we lose 1 guy, so we won that fight there. They break. Nice. Being cavalry, they're going to run most of the way off the field here. So my leader alone, 6 attacks, needing 3s. On his leader, get 4 hits. Because of my making him reroll successes, he failed all of them, so he just took 4 hits. He's already dead, no matter what happens. His counterattack, I take a couple points. Even with my reroll, I still take a couple points. Alright, and then my guy's fighting his guys. We don't get a huge number of hits. Got a lot on me, though. Save is not great. We actually lost the fight. But we rolled the 2. We are not leaving this fight. We killed his leader. We saw my leader just absolutely chop his leader in half. But the rest of the fight didn't go so well. Okay. You charge them in the flank. I'm surprised we can actually do that. Knights, go ahead and charge the brutes. I think that's all I can do. Try to get this guy turned around. Yeah, actually, he's trying to get over to fight the Abyssal Knights. So we can try to spin you to get a flank attack off next time. The forest is kind of in the way. We could even try to angle for a rear attack. Yeah, let's try for that. We can hit you in the rear potentially next time. Alright, so this time, leader just killing regular guys. Only got 1 hit, that's pathetic. A better job here this time. A lot of hits back at us. Save most of them, so we win the fight. And they break. Out here. 3 or better to hit. Only 4. And they saved a couple. It's kind of sad. Alright, they hit me back once. Save it. So we do win, even though that was a pretty inconsequential little exchange. And they broke. That's all we needed. Abyssal Knights. 9 hits. They saved quite a lot. We only killed 3 of them. Counterattack gets me 5 times. 3 or better save with a reroll. We're totally fine. That's why we want to make this unit bigger. This unit is absolutely going to destroy stuff later. Okay, he's got everything broken except for this 1 unit of Orc Warriors. I have to hit him in the flank. We're not far enough over. So yeah, hit him in the flank. Then you hit him in the front. Same time. I could go ahead and charge these guys down, but there really isn't much point. It is a rear charge, though, so it's safe. We're not going to get hurt in the process. And I can do the same here. It's a rear charge. It's safe. So why not? Actually, haven't taken as many losses as I thought I would. My regular infantry got beat up a bit. Cavalry taking some losses, but doing okay. All right, the main charge. 11 hits. Look at that. Only 3 saves. Counterattack, only 3 hits. 2 or better save with a reroll is nuts. Totally fine. So yeah, these guys can take on almost anything front on and be okay. We just need to maybe get their skill up a little bit, increase their numbers. Flanking force, 4 hits. Couple saves. They got a couple guys left that can fight off. Totally missed. We won by a ton. They break. That's it. I think. No. We still have to resolve our other attacks, even though the guys are broken. So yeah, if you charge somebody's broken, they aren't broken anymore. So that's kind of a potential risk. Decent number of hits. Kill off a bunch of the goblins. They continue being broken. Good to go. And 1 kill for my leader. Need to give him some more attacks. Something I noticed earlier, they've kind of changed the way the skills work. There was a lot of things early on that gave your leaders lots of attacks. It could just be random, though. Oh, they actually successfully turned around. Look at that. So they passed their test, and they're like, nope, we're fighting this. But you can kind of look at health and stuff if you want to by going in. So yeah, my leader is at 2 of 4 health. So if something has more than 1 health, you can always check things out that way. His units are kind of blocking my access. I think we'll go ahead and have you charge, because that'll get me in a position to flank, because we should break these guys. Now you can't do jack. Well, can you charge the brutes? No, a little too far. Okay, yeah, we'll just call that. Broken units will sometimes move through you guys when they actually do the break movement. We could try to get in the flank here, and then we could try to get in the rear. Let's go for the rear. Can't believe these Northman horse are actually doing okay. Let's come on out. Can spin. Okay, that's a little too far. So if they resolve and fight, we can always hit them in the flank too. All right, leader, give me some damage. There we go. Take out 3. Everything's happened simultaneously, so even the guys who die do get a chance to fight back, which does make things go a little faster. The fact that you always hit on 6s, kind of no matter what the matchup is, also makes things go a little faster than, say, like other war games. Decent number of saves there, very nice. Last guy is totally broken. Come on, cavalry. 5 successes, though. Still wiped out half of them. Alright, that's it. They're done. Okay, I've got some leveling. My leader goes up. More tax would be nice. Yeah, let's do random and see what we get. Got health, so that's actually pretty good. Makes me a lot tougher. Very nice. Not the best. The Northman unit here. Max size wouldn't be awful. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make that unit bigger. And I think we go into the next stage with the health and stuff that we have. I don't think we get to full strength for the next phase. So let's take the units here. You guys give me cash. Let's get another knight. Let's get you guys back to full strength. So not as much cash. All right. So we'll go ahead and call it, and then we'll come back and do the second phase of the fight here, going through the second part of the campaign. The maps aren't always the same. The bosses aren't always the same. I don't know who that is. So you do end up fighting some different factions and stuff. You can also just build armies with everything unlocked. If you want to do that and just fight, you can play around with that as well. But I kind of like this because you build up the guys over time. You get the skills. You can make guys really overpowered. You can have units that are super strong, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, this has been more of SOVL playing as basically Chaos. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, have a good one.